before I get started, I just want to get to know my public. So can we get a can I get a thumbs up if you are an Android developer? So we have a couple. Okay. How about other technologies? If you can write in the chat. So I can see the people that were working on this presentation. JavaScript, okay. Any other, maybe backend, Flutter, okay, nice. The Node, TypeScript, nice. Oh, okay, that's a new one for me. Maui, okay. .NET, nice. All right, awesome. Yeah, so we have a diverse group today, so I like that. Even though that in the presentation it says Android, you're gonna see that it can be applied to many other tools. So I'm gonna share my screen. Let me start the presentation. Okay. Are you gonna start recording, Ivana, or should I start? Okay. You can see the screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, awesome. So yeah, welcome guys. For today's presentation, I name it Future Android AI Development Unlocked. As I mentioned before, we're gonna see some examples for Android specifically, but this could be applied to all of your technologies, and you will see later today. Yeah, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Andres Pelaez. I live in Colombia and I'm an Android developer. Uh, I just want to clarify, I am not an AI expert. So you will wonder, okay, so why are you giving a presentation on AI? Well, I am passionate about it, and I've been kind of dipping my toes into AI for quite a while, trying new tools to make our lives better, or at least my life better, because at the end of the day, that's the goal. I mean, technology and AI specifically to make our lives much easier. So yeah, why do this presentation? I think, well, as you can see, AI is everywhere now. AI is not just for data scientists anymore. I think it has changed how we interact with technology and software and things overall. I think overall everything. So yeah, today we will explore some tools on how to take advantage of this. What should be your expectations about this presentation? At the end of this presentation, yeah, you will see like a glance of new ways of how you can use AI on, again, specifically Android in this case, but I think you will notice overall in your technology. So this is the agenda that we will have for today: AI in 2025, some context, and some definitions, then ML, AI agents, models, a lot. Then we will see what is AI on edge. Then we will jump to AI, Android AI development unlocked. We will jump to some code, some examples, some yeah, apps running, and at the end, some takeaways. And hopefully at the end, you will get some knowledge and insights about this. Along the presentation, you will see these little robots. Those are called bug droids, or uh, the robot of Android, which is the mascot. So yeah, I just like to put it everywhere. So a disclaimer before I get started. What is this presentation not about? We're not gonna talk about productivity tools or prompt engineering or vibe coding or dev performance, I think we have all got a lot of that before. And yeah, so this is going to change a little bit the tone on that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. AI in 2025. So I just want to start by saying, what the heck is going on? Aren't all a little bit lost? Isn't all going too fast? How many AI meetings have you got in the last week, month, year? I think uh, it is everywhere. AI is everywhere. You have it on your phones, on your websites, on your chats, on your kitchen, on your living room, everywhere. So yeah, that's why it's important to talk about AI. Every company has its own bet on AI. I think almost everyone, if even if you're not on the AI and the software development area, you can name some of the icons that we see here. Uh, why? Because, well, we see it everywhere. Uh, Maybe if you can write some of the logos that you see here, if there's anyone that there's one that you don't know about, so maybe you can write them and just again to see like some uh, what people is working with these days. You can write them in the chat, or you can talk. You can raise your hand. Okay, yeah, we got Siri. Any other?
Well, I see Gemini, Copilot, Cloud,
Gemini,
Meta,
Copilot, Meta,
uh, ChatGPT. I believe
ChatGPT.
between Copilot and ChatGPT is Grok
It
from
worked. Correct.
X,
Yes. Yes.
and the one on the left of Gemini, I don't know which one it is.
So we also have Claude here. Many people use it, and it has a great performance for developers. So yeah, as you can see, we have tons of tools, and this is just like from the big or the most renowned ones. So yeah, and why is that? Why is it relevant? Well, it is 2025. AI is not a future concept anymore. I think we used to see it, I don't know, science fiction, uh, but it is now an utility. It has shifted from being a concept that we heard about, that something that we learn in the university, to actually being part of our lives. Users now expect smarter and more personalized experiences. So that's why it is really important for us to take a look at it uh, from the perspective of developers, or as users, how to take advantage of that. So this is like a timeline of what AI is. As I mentioned, it is not new. Many of you already know it is not new, but for those that maybe don't, I just wanted to give you some context, some history. I'm not gonna stop in every single one of this. I just want to mention the most, not the most, some of the more relevant. We all know about the Turing test, right? 1950, Alan Turing proposes like a test to make a benchmark for machine intelligence. So you can can you tell the difference between a human and a machine? So I think and even before that, there were some discussions, but from that point, you see that discussion, like how intelligent can be a machine, a software, anything. So from that moment on, so we have had some advantages in yeah, technology, science, algorithms that has brought us to this point. I'm gonna mention just the last decade. There are some dark ages, meaning why wasn't developed before? Well, before they didn't have the computation strength and the power that we have today. So that's why we see some dark ages. We were limited, and there were some conflicts as well. So that's why it didn't really scale in the past. But well, now we have very powerful machines, data centers, and the topic of today is not only centers anymore. It's not something that we cannot reach. It is at the tip of our hands. And obviously, everything changed in the last decade. So we have the transformer from Google, a new technique to actually convert models, and obviously ChatGPT. ChatGPT was like the big boom for many of us. This is a fun fact, just to again maybe reinforce the idea of how important AI is right now. This Many of you recognize these two. These two are obviously the top of the biggest companies in technology right now. So to the right we have the CEO of Google, and to the left of Apple. Right. In the latest keynotes, their presentations, they mentioned AI. On the right, Google 135 times and Gemini 170 times, just in their keynote. Can you imagine like how focused everything is on AI right now? And to the left, we have Apple. On their conference, how many times did they mention AI? Did they say AI specifically? 0 times. Okay, but okay, don't alarm. They mention Apple Intelligence a lot. This is like their strategy and their branding and how they want to get to the world of AI and their users. But you can see the relevance. It is an important topic, and we have all seen it in every single meeting that we have. So that's why we're going to start talking about some concepts. Again, giving you some context. Many of you already know it, but I think it's important for us, for all of us. So we'll hear it all the time: machine learning, models, agents, AI. But what are actually them? Machine learning is actually like algorithms. You can think of it as a machine that can learn from data. So the more data that you feed them, the more they're gonna learn, and that's the purpose of them. Let's continue with agents. Agents, you can think of them as an automation tool that perform actions based on rules. So it is kind of like AI program, like an intelligent, let's say, bot. That's an example that can do some task. For example, I have one right there to add new entries to Google Docs every time a stock, something that you hear, that you listen to, and then you do an action. And you can chain them as many times as you like to get from a starting point to an endpoint, to a goal. And obviously AI, well, AI is the goal. It is like the dream. It is the concept of making machines intelligent, right? That so they can actually provide or do tasks that humans can. So what is that? Reasoning, learning, creating. We also have creating there. I put it sometimes in quotes because, again, what these tools do is actually learn, and they have a lot of algorithms that at the end will provide a result that you actually ask for it, right? And you have also feed them with that data for them to provide that result. So I think it is important for us to actually get to know this concept, and that's why I added a little video and that is gonna be 5 minutes. It is 7 minutes, but I will cut it short. So yeah, just if you can, I think it is a good example on how this interact. You will let me know if you can hear it. I think it is important for you to hear it.
Imagine you happen across a short movie script that
Do you hear it?
We can hear it.
Can or can't?
Can.
We do.
We do.
Okay.
a
Awesome.
scene between a person and their AI assistant. The script has what the person asks the AI, but the AI's response has been torn off. Suppose you also have this powerful magical machine that can take any text and provide a sensible prediction of what word comes next. You could then finish the script by feeding in what you have to the machine, seeing what it would predict to start the AI's answer, and then repeating this over and over with a growing script completing the dialogue. When you interact with a chatbot, this is exactly what's happening. A large
And this?
We can't hear it.
say in response, and that's what's presented to the user.
I don't know what happened, but part of the video was sound off.
Okay, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. Maybe you can hear it now. Maybe it is better now.
Person and their AI assistant.
Now it's good. No, it stopped again. It's the same part.
It's probably going through your microphone, so...
Yeah, it seems like it. I'm gonna leave it on.
And provide a sensible prediction of what word comes next. You could then finish the script by feeding in what you have to the machine, seeing what it would predict to start the AI's answer, and then repeating this over and over with a growing script completing the dialogue. When you interact with a chatbot, this is exactly what's happening. A large language model is a sophisticated mathematical function that predicts what word comes next for any piece of text. Instead of predicting one word with certainty, though, what it does is assign a probability to all possible next words. To build a chatbot, what you do is lay out some text that describes an interaction between a user and a hypothetical AI assistant. You add on whatever the user types in as the first part of that interaction, and then you have the model repeatedly predict the next word that such a hypothetical AI assistant would say in response, and that's what's presented to the user. In doing this, the output tends to look a lot more natural if you allow it to select less likely words along the way at random. So what this means is even though the model itself is deterministic, a given prompt typically gives a different answer each time it's run. Models learn how to make these predictions by processing an enormous amount of text, typically pulled from the internet. For a standard human to read the amount of text that was used to train GPT-3, for example, if they read nonstop 24/7, it would take over 2,600 years. Larger models since then train on much, much more. You can think of training a little bit like tuning the dials on a big machine. The way that a language model behaves is entirely determined by these many different continuous values, usually called parameters or weights. Changing those parameters will change the probabilities that the model gives for the next word on a given input. What puts the large in large language model is how they can have hundreds of billions of these parameters. No human ever deliberately sets those parameters. Instead, they begin at random, meaning the model just outputs gibberish, but they're repeatedly refined based on many example pieces of text. One of these training examples could be just a handful of words, or it could be thousands, but in either case, the way this works is to pass in all but the last word from that example into the model and compare the prediction that it makes with the true last word from the example. An algorithm called backpropagation is used to tweak all of the parameters in such a way that it makes the model a little more likely to choose the true last word and a little less likely to choose all the others. When you do this for many, many trillions of examples, not only does the model start to give more accurate predictions on the training data, but it also starts to make more reasonable predictions on text that it's never seen before. Given the huge number of parameters and the enormous amount of training data, the scale of computation involved in training a large language model is mind-boggling. To illustrate, imagine that you could perform 1 billion additions and multiplications every single second. How long do you think that it would take for you to do all of the operations involved in training the largest language models? Do you think it would take a year? Maybe something like 10,000 years? The answer is actually much more than that. It's well over 100 million years. This is only part of the story, though. This whole process is called...
I'm gonna stop right there. I just wanted to get the idea on how the training and the model interact, right? I just realized that I missed the model in the last part, but you can think of the model as the brain, as the outcome of that training that machine learning come up with, right? So that's why the model for us, it's going to be a really important part of this talk. So just I wanted to let you guys know that. So you heard some important keywords. So for example, patterns. You heard predictions. And that's how we work. The more data it has, the more precise it's gonna get, right? So again, this is gonna be important for the next stages. And yeah, do we have any questions so far? If not, we're good to continue. All right. So
we have some comments in our chat.
okay. Okay, no questions. Oh, there is a comment I heard that also diffusion models for text exist, like Inception Labs shows text, but it slowly iterates and makes it better, and faster generating each token. Yeah, I mean, again, I think there are many algorithms, techniques, and that have been developed. Yes, but I think everything points to the same direction, right? Make predictions, make connections to actually deliver results. But thank you for that. So yeah, right now we're gonna talk on AI on edge. This is gonna be like the big topic of this presentation. I think we have all heard about not AI on edge, but many things on edge. Cloud software engineers, AWS developers. You all have heard of it. People that work with IoT. And what does that mean? Anyone knows, have any idea, have worked with this before?
Is it on device?
On device, correct. Yes. Yeah, basically, AI on edge, it is the practice of running AI on models directly on the device. In this case, we're going to talk a lot about Android, but I think, again, it can be applied to a lot of things, a lot of areas in this case. So there are some benefits to this, and I'm going to highlight a few. What are some of them? For example, the speed. You don't have to send the data, or it's not going to be processed anywhere else. You're going to have the results almost instantly, obviously depending on how powerful your device is. And for me, this is really, really important. I think I mentioned it on one of the topics of this presentation. It is privacy. And that's why it's really important. If you have your model on your device, you're not gonna send the data outside your device. It's gonna be everything is gonna be processed inside your device, and that is a huge plus. We also have offline capabilities, so you're not gonna need internet connection, and it is also cost effective. You don't need to pay any data centers or huge bills that you usually pay for training and running, prompting, and that is actually a lot behind it. I just want to mention that again, in the past, scientists didn't have the power for running this type of algorithms, but nowadays we all have it on the palm of our hands. So we should actually leverage these devices, see how powerful they are, and actually use them. I'm just gonna tell you like what are some key changes that had been added to be actually that had been leveraged, providing this capability for us. Many of you, when you purchase a phone, you actually look for performance, right? How fast can it be? And you see benchmarks. You see, okay, this phone is actually better than this one because, well, it has a better score on how fast it is. In the latest chips, the biggest companies have developed a little space in the chip, in the processor, that is called MPUs. Those MPUs are actually neural processing units. Those little pieces are actually designed to improve the when you run AI or algorithms that process data. So that's why right now you're not only getting benchmarks on how fast it is, but how it actually processes AI data, right? So that's some concepts on AI on edge. Any questions here before moving on? Okay, awesome. So we're gonna talk about Android AI development unlocked. So how AI on edge can be applied to Android or any other device. We're gonna talk about some tools. Tools, libraries, and many other things that we have right now on our to our disposal to be used. So what should we do as developers? Actually leveraging this modern hardware, because again, as I mentioned, we have the power now. And I'm gonna talk about mostly three of them, three tools that are really important. One of them is ML Kit, Machine Learning Kit. This has been around for quite a while now. Again, AI is not new. Machine learning is not new. This has been developed by Google for a while now. Why is it interesting right now? Because again, we can use it offline. We also have some perks. So, for example, integration with Firebase. But that goes case in case, right? It depends on you, like what you're developing, and if the user doesn't need to connect to the internet. So that's why. TensorFlow Lite right now is called Lite RT. This is the core framework of running AI on Android. This is specifically for Android and its framework. And lastly, we have MediaPipe. This is a framework, and this is high level. It has already a wrapper that let us just integrate pieces of but some code that has already programmed everything for us. So there are a few differences. So for example, MLKit has already some predefined models for us. So you just kind of implement it. Let's say you want to implement a machine learning kit for, or an SDK for image recognition or voice recognition or text recognition. They already have the SDK that does this, right? You don't have to worry about a model that does everything for you. That, for example, ChatGPT, Gemini, everyone, you can ask them everything, or to correct you, or to rephrase, or you can send them a picture or generate a picture. In this case, the SDK has already some task defined. For MediaPipe, this is the best part of it. You can create your own models or browse models that fits you better. So that's like the difference that we're gonna see. Yeah, show me the money. Let's see some examples of what AI on Edge bring us, and yeah, how we can use them. So I'm gonna stop the presentation here. All right. Let's start with MLKit. MLKit, again, as I mentioned before, it is an SDK that you can implement. It will provide you some functions, some APIs that you can actually call and do some specific task. At the end of this presentation, I'm gonna share with you some links, repositories that you can browse. You will find this code and you can try them yourself. Yeah, for example, in this repository, this is the official repository of Google, of MLKit. We have some specific tasks that we can use. As I mentioned before, these APIs have, they solve a specific, let's say issues or features that you want to implement. So for example, object detector, processing. Again, you will just actually call the object that takes care of this and use it. So as you can see, like an integration on your code for MLKit is really, really easy. It's really straightforward. I want to show, for example, face detector. Face detector, you also create like a single a single model. A single, in this case, will be like a face detector object. And with that, you will pass it to your application, to your activity. And with that would be enough. I'm gonna show you like some examples. So we have here, let's see this one. So this is the code that we saw before. You just add your the SDK of MLKit. You select the type of problem that you want to solve, and it will actually just provide it out of the box for you. In this case, I have the face mesh detection. A lot of these are on beta. They are still developing. Obviously, they still keep adding new stuff. So we have option detection, face detection, barcode scanning, image labeling. We also have text recognition. So let's see, for example, so this is kind of raw. Everything that they provide as an example, it's going to show you what you can do, but and how easily you can integrate it. And from that point, you just use it to your advantage. So for example, let's say object detection. So it's gonna segment objects. Let me let's see if Yeah, it's gonna identify those objects. I have a few here that, and you will see like the performance of the SDK. So as you can see, it's really good detecting the little things. And in this case, well, it does say fashion good. In this case, well, some glasses. But overall, depends on the model that you choose and how well trained it is. I'm not a fashion good. And yeah, so this is one of the examples that we have for MLKit. Pros from MLKit, well, definitely the out-of-the-box implementation. It's just kind of easy integration for it. Then I'm gonna move to this is MediaPipe. This is MediaPipe, yes. So we also have some good examples here. I'm gonna leave this one to last because it's the one that I like the most. MediaPipe, what is the thing about MediaPipe? As I mentioned before, it is a framework. It is a framework. It has everything wrapped. The pro of MediaPipe is that you can actually create your own models and integrate it into your code. You can train them. You can fine-tune them. So for example, in this case, this is an audio classifier. And you can see in the assets that we have a model. And you will identify it by its extension. This is a TF Lite. You will see two types for Android, at least you will see two types. One is TF Lite and another one is Task. TF Lite, you can see it more like I'm gonna say the other first. The Task one, the extension actually say the actual use, because it is programmed for a certain task. You can think of it as, for example, a car. It has a purpose, but the TL Lite, you can think of it as the engine of that car. Why? Because you will have to have more boilerplate. You can actually need to adjust it. You need to program it a little bit better in order for make use of it. There are obviously some advantages of using TL Lite. It's going to be smaller and it's going to be more focused. The task one has already, again, some pre-program or not pre-programmed, predefined goals to be implemented. So in this case, we have a TF Lite for an audio classifier. So let's see where I have that, because I already have some. This is translation. Wait. This is the audio classifier. Audio classifier. Audio. I lost it. Okay, here. So we have the audio classifier. Again, this will be done with a single model that it was trained specifically for that. So I'm gonna show you guys one thing about this model. Let me see if I can open in Finder. I'm gonna put it right here, and we're gonna see the size of this model. It weighs 4 megabytes, 4.1 megabytes. It is really, really lightweight for what it can do. So for example, but right now I'm speaking, sorry, I'm speaking and it detects the speech, right? What happened if I whistle? It also detects it, right? So that's the advantage of using pre-trained models and integrated in your application. Something that I didn't mention or that I didn't do before jumping into the into the actual demo, it is disconnecting from everything. So I'm gonna disconnect from the Wi-Fi in all of my devices, because as I mentioned before, everything is running locally in the devices. So that's the beauty of it, right? As I mentioned before, it is fast. The privacy, yeah, I mean, it is right at the top of your hands. Well, having a single device so powerful that you can run models and AI in your code, in your app. All right, I think that's all I have for MediaPipe. Let me see if, okay, this one I already did. Oh, and obviously we have some translations. I can also disconnect from the network. And I had some examples, but let me see if I, okay, here, translations. It is quite easy, to be honest. This is a simple example, but it represents my point. My point is it is really easy and straightforward to implement. Downloading a model, which, by the way, I will get to that point, to downloading. And yeah, just use it to your advantage. So yeah, everything here is being done without internet connection. I'm gonna get out of here as well. Okay, the last piece of demo that I wanna share with you guys, it is again MediaPipe, but I want to jump further into the models. So this is called Edge Gallery. You can see it here. Yes, Edge. Okay, Edge Gallery. Edge Gallery. It is the official repository of Google AI on Edge. It brings something to the table that is called I'm sorry, not is called, but so we have some models already integrated inside the application that solve these four specifically tasks. We don't have a model for audio right now, but we're gonna see. So, for example, for the prompting or for the image. When you actually install your application and you run it, you're gonna see these four models inside your app. Obviously, you know Gemma. Gemma is like the latest model that Google has developed. They have, like for example, for ChatGPT, we have O1, O2, O2 Mini, O3, O3 Mini. Each one of them are this trained data that yeah, you use them to your advantage, right? In this case, we have Gemma 3. You will see the N. That means that it is specifically for mobile devices. So it has been shrunk for it to be used on these devices. Where can you find these models? You will find them in a website that is called Hugging Face. There are a lot of models and data sets that you can download here. You can, for example, let's say Google. Google has a lot of models. And yeah, you can browse them and see what fits you better. And if none of them fits you specifically to what you need, you can actually reference them and fine-tune them to your advantage. What do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, we have a prompting model that will respond with some let's say accent. to your response, or some specific things about that about a country. If you don't see that any of these models is doing that, you can actually train them. So you will take, I have an example here. You can actually, I'm gonna hide this. I don't know why I left it. I'm gonna delete it later. But so what I have done is taken one repository. This is the base model. For example, this is Gemma 3, and I have downloaded. You can actually define like a data set. This is just an example. But for example, every time that this person asks for something, you will add at the end something. So for example, to all my responses, I added a punk at the end. So being unpolite. This is just an example. But this is what I mean. If you take a predefined model, you can add your own touch to it and then export it, as I did, for example, for this presentation. I have my own here, so you can upload your own models to the website and use them later. And yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. Let me, and again, these are just what this demo, this repository comes with out of the box. So we have some Gemma models that, as you can see, they have different weight. So 3 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 500 megabytes. Obviously, the size depends on how precise they will be in your response. But again, you can further train them to make it specific to your task, and reduce the size of it, right? And yeah, I think that's what I wanted to show you. We have some minutes. Yes. We have 3 different devices here. All of them are pixels. And what I want to show you, it's try to use the same model. Try to use the same model with the same prompting to see how much they will it will take for them to respond. So for example, write a poem. You will see it here. Write a poem. They all have different performance, obviously, because of their chipsets. Let's see how long it takes them to respond. And you can actually benchmark it here. So I'm gonna click on this first. Oh, okay. I took some time before clicking it, but at the end, we're gonna see how long it actually takes to respond. So as you can see, the first one here, this is the Pixel 6a. This is the oldest model that has a tensor chip, and it took longer, right? This is the Pixel 7. It kind of took in the middle, and the 9 Pro, it was the fastest. What we should compare about this is actually, you see that, and none of this is connected to the internet. But since we're using the same model, and I asked the same prompt, it should have given the same result, right? Based on the training. So we can see here these two provided the same response, and this later didn't provide the same response. Why? Well, it also depends on obviously the device and how the model responds. I want to show you here like how fast they responded to it. The latest model, it took almost 4 seconds. This one, 3.5 seconds, 3.4. And the latest model, like the fastest chipset, it actually took less, 2.53. So again, you can see the performance of the chipsets on your phones and how you can take advantage of it. Offline, fully private, and yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. I'm kind of running out of time. I will share these links with you. That these are the official documentation for everything that I have shown you. Before the times. Okay. So I wanted to mention some takeaways, some what you can take away from this presentation. AI is an integral part of our modern development. No matter if you are a fully out developer or you use it for performance to improve how fast you code, you can actually use it like in your tools to make new features. So definitely take advantage of that. The tools are mature. It has been worked on like for quite a while, and it keeps coming, new stuff every single day. New models are being uploaded, being tweaked, being improved. So use it. Privacy. I just want to do like a quick pause here and say, is AI a good evil? I don't know if you remember, guys, last year when DeepSeek came out. Do you know DeepSeek, the model from the Chinese? Do you remember? There was a whole a scandal about what about my data? They are taking my data, right? Every time you put a prompt, they took your location, the actual things that you put inside the prompt. People like they were getting, but it doesn't mean that they did it and ChatGPT is not doing it or Google is not doing it. So that's why you need to be careful about what you share or what you put in. Some people are using it for medical advice. So we all need to be aware of that. And lastly, some action plan. What you learn here, you need to identify how it can be applied to your technology. And some of these libraries, you can actually use it for iOS, for web. So definitely take a look. It is beautiful. Browse models, there are tons. So take a look, test the tools, and iterate. Yeah, you don't always get it from at first. And now, yeah, lastly, I just wanted to give you this quote that is called from Eliezer Yudkowsky. The greatest danger of AI is that people conclude too early that they understand it. AI, it's a whole world, and we should definitely start looking into it, but don't get cocky. I mean, even the scientists are still learning from it and developing on it. So yeah, we should definitely take a look and yeah, go easy on it. That's my point of view, but take advantage of it, definitely. These are the resources that I was talking about. The official Google AI Edge, the repository, MediaPipe. That's something I didn't get to show. I don't know. Do I have? I have a couple of minutes before. You can actually there is this MediaPipe Studio. Yeah, you can test your models on web. So for example, here, image classification, it says I have a lab code. I don't, but I do have yeah. Well, you can use it. Yeah, please take a look. You can try different models. You can choose your own model. There is a whole playground for it. So yeah. And lastly, yeah. Is there any questions? Are there any questions? Sorry that I left so little time for it, but yeah, there is a lot of things to talk about on this topic, so that's why.